Welcome back to Costa TV's live coverage of the 2021 Breeders' Crown Day 2, joined by Andrew McCarthy. And Andy, I'll tell you what, you got to drive Ramona Hill a little bit earlier this afternoon. She really closed nicely to be 4th or 5th there.
Yeah, I think she was 4th. She raced great. It was kind of a non-event. I figured there'd be a little more action in there than what there was, but she did race great.
Let's talk about the big horse Jujubee coming up in the 8th race for 3-year-old colts and geldings. You picked up the drive on this horse in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final. Was second beat neck of the elimination. He's really put together kind of a stellar season.
Yeah, he has. He probably didn't race quite as good as he had been last week. I think he struggled with the track a little bit, and I'm sure Greg will have him a lot better today. I'm just very excited. I'm always very excited to drive this horse. He's got a massive set of lungs, and he goes a long way.
Now, they supplemented to get into the Kentucky Futurity, so obviously a lot of confidence from Greg Wright Jr. It takes a lot to, put up the money to get into the Kentucky Futurity, but he was razor sharp. He kind of sat back off the pace, and you made your move, and he just never looked back.
Yeah, he's it's a Quattro de Julio. He's a very nice horse, and he raced terrific last week. He's got high speed. I know Greg's pulling the hind shoes again today, like he was in Kentucky there. So I'm expecting him to be a little slicker gated and ready to rock.
Now, Andy, back in 2009, you had 4 Breeders' Crown victories. Does it get old winning these races?
It never gets old winning Breeders' Crowns. I still haven't broken the ice yet. I'm hoping Jujubee can get it done.
All right, Andy. Well, you're coming up here in the 8th race. We hope to bring home another victory for Jujubee.
All right, thanks for having me on, Mike.
The starters inside our paddock location for the 3-year-old colt and gelding trot. We just saw Nifty Norman and Dexter Dunn team up for a victory back in race number 7 in the filly trot counterpart. They captured this particular division last year with Amigo Volo, but will not be in the mix here in this particular race, or at least Nifty won't be. Dexter will be driving the number 7 Fly Light in this very competitive field. Some of these horses have had their moments this season where they've been at or near the top of the division, and then others have come along. So to get here today, these 10 have proven themselves over the course of a long season. They've held their form remarkably well. In your opinion, who's the hottest horse or the sharpest horse coming in?
The sharpest horse right now seems to be Jujubee, as far as I'm concerned. But, Quattro de Julio and Jujubee have been kind of trading punches. But one thing about Jujubee, was racing at the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes circuit for trader Greg Wright Jr. Then, for whatever reason, Andy McCarthy picked up the mount on them. But to supplement into the Kentucky Futurity, and I talked a little bit to Andy about this earlier, to supplement into a race like that, I mean, you have to, for those of you who don't know, supplementing, you have to pay to get into the race. They have to have confidence in the horse. We've had a couple of supplements into this race here, or excuse me, not just this race, into the Breeders' Crown program. The cost to supplement into the Breeders' Crown, $62,500. That's a lot of money to get into a race like this. So obviously Jujubee earning his way into the Breeders' Crown seems to be one of the hotter horses currently coming into this race. As they get ready to go to the gate here, we thank our worldwide audience for checking out our Breeders' Crown coverage over the last couple of days. Last night, obviously, in the rain, and then, of course, today as the sun is shining.
All right, we'll give a shout out to Nina Bell Mariani, just commenting, cheering on Jujubee, looking to get back into the win column. He's 13 for 17. Will he be 14 for 18 after this one? It's the Breeders' Crown Colt and Gelding Trot Final.
$650,000. Presented by Wanda Policini's Purple Haze Stables. 20-cent pick 6 starts now. Here they come. Three-year-olds are off and trotting. Logan Park on the outside, dancing in the dark broke. Jujubee charging out of there with Delayed Hanover and Quattro de Julio and Ambassador Hanover right to the top for August Vonstead. It's Ambassador Hanover. Jujubee goes after him on the outside as Quattro de Julio takes a seat in a minute. Hanover on the rail. Delayed Hanover is going up on the outside from 5th. On the move up is Flylight from 6th past the quarter. Then comes Ritson, and in range Hanover after the early break. Logan Park, and way back is Dancing in the Dark. Hot quarter here. 26-2 for Jujubee. Andrew McCarthy grabs in, looks to ration out the speed. Ambassador Hanover, elimination winner right there in the second spot. The other elimination winner, Quattro de Julio, is third as they continue across the backstretch. Delayed Hanover, parked on the outside uncovered. In a minute, Hanover stride for stride with him in 5th. Flylight is second over 6th. Ritson pinned in 7th on the rail. Then comes In Range, and way back Logan Park, and Dancing in the Dark. 55-3 was the rated half. So it's Jujubee by 2. He is the target. Jujubee. Ambassador Hanover on the inside. Quattro de Julio is asked the question on the outside, and he's coming on in attack mode. As they around the far turn, Delayed Hanover second over behind him. In a minute, Hanover stride for stride with him as they pass 3/4, and it's Jujubee by 2. Quattro de Julio inching in. Ambassador Hanover stride for stride with him. 123-4, 28-1 in the third quarter. Into the stretch of the Breeders' Crown, and it's Jujubee by 2, 2.5. Quattro de Julio trying to rev up and come after him. Ambassador Hanover to the inside. Delayed Hanover towering up late here as they appear to be getting to Jujubee, but he hangs in there. Jujubee almost there. Jujubee, yes indeed. Then close Flylight, or In Range was flying late. Right there with Delayed Hanover. Jujubee, 151-2.
Jujubee atones, was knocked off last time out after the long win streak, and comes right back and regains his winning ways and does it in the Breeders' Crown final, and he does it in stakes record time. Ultra impressive.
Yeah, stakes record was set by Father Patrick and Bar Hopping, 2014 and 2016 respectively, and 151-4. Big effort here, 151-2. They set some pretty stiff fractions. I mean, 26-2. They got the second quarter in 29-1, then came in 123-4. But Jujubee, wow, ultra impressive as we're watching the replay here. The horse on the inside, tell who that was. I think it was Okas Fonstead. Kind of got caught up in there. It looked like Jujubee might be a little late weary there in the stretch.
Yeah, could have made it interesting there, but really tight quarters and just never did get the clearance as Quattro de Julio hung in gamely, was in that place photograph, a wall of horses battling it out for the place. It appeared that Flylight may have gotten there. We've got the inquiry sign up here as well, and no doubt the judges will be reviewing the final portions of the stretch drive. Yeah,
we talked about it as they were coming down to the finish, and it looked like they kind of got stacked up there. And one thing about some of the rulings we've seen here, if it impedes the progress of another horse, and it could impede the progress, it could impede that forward motion. If they're aggressively moving forward, it could potentially be cause for disqualification. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Jujubee getting a little bit leg weary there in the stretch. I'll be interested to see what Andy McCarthy, if it's against him, tells the judges. But 7 Flylight was second, In Range was third, and then Quattro de Julio, disappointing fourth for Lucas Wallen. Just didn't have anything left for Jujubee.
Yeah, and in watching from the angle of the vantage point we had, it looked like clearance just never did develop for Ambassador Hanover there, but the head-on is really what you want to have a look at. And we're getting a peek at it now. And again, was there ever truly a clear lane there? Let's see if they'll roll it back. And judges will be looking at this in real time along with the viewers. So let's get another look at the head-on here.
Yeah, as we take a look at the judges' view here, it looks like Okas Fonstead is going to come to the outside. Now the question is going to be, is this against Jujubee or the horse to his outside? Obviously, there's about a half a lake there. What my concern was that right there, right where you see him come to the outside, is where Jujubee kind of was starting to show a little bit of wavering, but maybe some hooked wheels as well.
Yeah. I mean, tight quarters, and you understand. Aki's sitting second. He's got trot. He's just just begging for that daylight, as they say. Just not sure if it was ever or truly there. Right here, Quattro de Julio holding his position. He's out in the 2 path, and I don't think he ever really drifts wide enough to open the seam, and that's why you get the tight quarters right in here.
Yep.
In my opinion, Jujubee didn't change course dramatically enough to cause any issue there, because I don't think the clearance was there to begin with. But it's not our call to make, and the officials upstairs will certainly be having a good close look at it. You want to get those calls right, especially in races of this stature.
Does it appear that the inquiry is against Jujubee at this point, with them putting the blanket on? So right now, your unofficial winner, Jujubee, and Andy McCarthy. We got another interview winner, by the way. I just want that to be put out there. So bet the interviewee. That's the route we're going, right?
And for Greg Wright Jr., nice Breeders' Crown feather in his cap. And what a season, a dream season it's been for this guy. Another one who banked just $13,000 last year, lightly raced with only 5 starts, and was put away on a high note, and comes back this year, and he is arguably the premier colt trotter in all of North America now. 14 for 18, almost $1 million in seasonal earnings for him.
And now the conversation starts about end-of-year honors. Amigo Volo last year taking down end-of-year honors from this race. It had been 2 years prior to that to What the Hill, who faced older horses in the TVG after being disqualified in the Hambletonian. So he had to kind of prove himself against older horses. He came back, won the TVG. So does Jujubee have what it takes to possibly take home divisional honors? We'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would think this victory today may have just sewn it up for him. All right, we'll leave you with a look at the happy winning connections.